Hey, Brad Kazmarski back. Today's topic is how to integrate plyometrics and strength training. At least this is how I do it. Not everybody has the ideal situation where you can train for an hour and a half at a time. If you don't have that situation, this is the way most teams, at least myself with teams, are able to get this accomplished. I do this in 3 phases. Phase 1 is a more traditional approach, which is what you're used to. I will use the plyometrics, maybe light jumping, box jumping, med ball throws, etc. first as more of an active warm-up. As part of that active warm-up, they're allowed to learn the pattern for an entire month, but not have such a high expectation to do it. They're doing it to just feel comfortable doing the exercise, and then that kind of warms them up to go into the second step in that workout day, which is their main lifts. For our case, it's an upper and a lower body movement. After a month of this, we go into month 2 or phase 2. For me, this is doing the explosive lift before the strength lift. The way I think about it is the first movement is priming the second movement. So by doing this in phase 2, we are taking, for example, a med ball throw, doing explosive med ball throws, and then walking over and doing a set of bench press. We're using the med ball throw to prime our bench press. So we're taking our plyometrics and strength and calling it transfer training and putting it together. By doing it that way, we're saving time, and we're also taking what's an explosive movement and trying to integrate that into our strength movement. Same thing for rear foot elevated split squat or Bulgarian squat that I call it. We do a jumping version. So we may just do a jump, 5 jumps, not to get fatigued, just 5 or so each leg. Then we go into a weighted set. We carry this now after 4 weeks of doing that. We're leading into season. We're going to do the opposite. So now we're going to flip it, and our main goal to go into season or to be an athlete is to be able to express this power. So we're going to go for our example again, a bench press, and then we're going to walk over and finish med ball chest passes. So we've now transfer trained or complex them into doing our lift in phase 3 and into our heavy throw or clap push-ups if you don't have a wall. So now our goal again is to have the first movement transfer to the second movement. So having that be the last of our 3 phases takes us into a more of an athletic output, which is with their body weight or a lighter implement. Doing this also with a Bulgarian or rear foot elevated split squat, you're doing the weighted movement, then you're putting it down, walking over, and then doing an explosive body weight movement. So the 3 phases now are phase 1, a more traditional setup, learning how to do each exercise in their own, doing the plyos first, light warm up, getting used to doing them, then doing the main lifts. Now phase 2, you're using that plyo to transfer into the strength exercise. They like that a lot, athletes in general, because it makes them feel more explosive in their strength exercise. Then going into the season, phase 3, flip it. Now we're doing a slightly lighter lift. So we're probably taking away 10% or so, because the main goal is to be explosive going into season. We're going to do the bench press and then drop down and do clap push-ups if that's all we have, or go right over the wall and do med ball chest passes. We can do a goblet squat, set it down, and do body weight jumps, or rear foot elevated weighted, set it down, and do rear foot elevated jumps. Doing these 3 steps is how I integrate plyometrics into our strength training program in a small weight room setting where we have a lot of people, not enough coaching, not enough space, not enough time. I'm able to take these components that I feel are important and integrate them into 3 phases, going from preseason all the way into season, right up to the first day of practice. And then I just repeat that process. So now we're doing the same thing in season, except honestly I'm doing that in reverse. So now if you want to know a secret that I don't ever talk about, the first month of season, they're already used to doing that, we do that. But then as we move on, we get away from all jumping in general. So here's the main goal that we're trying to accomplish. Phase 1, learn the movement. Phase 2, prime the main lift. Phase 3, we're priming the explosive movement. That's how I integrate plyometrics and strength into what I call transfer training, which is really what Joe DeFranco calls transfer training. Or you can call complex training. Regardless, that is how I do it in 3 steps in a small weight room setting. Hope you enjoyed.